And welcome back to Daily Wrap. We were talking about yesterday's shooting in Chattanooga. Jonathan Billard taking a quick break, but right now we're joined by the host of the Steve Malzberg Show. He is king of the county, Mr. Malzberg. Interesting seeing you there in that seat.
It is interesting sitting in this seat, yes.
I'm the master of this domain.
You are, and I'll be in your domain at right after this show at 7 p.m. Eastern.
At 7 o'clock. I'll keep it warm for you.
Thank you.
So, Steve, I wanted to get your thoughts on something that happened at the White House yesterday. During the press briefing, Josh Earnest debuted what we'll call a prop. Take a look.
Welcome to the Friday briefing. It's finally Friday. It's been a very interesting and even historic week here at the White House. So I've decided today to pull a little page from a strategy that has been employed very effectively by some of our cable news colleagues here, that in addition to the regularly scheduled programming, we'll have a little bit of a crawl across the bottom with some additional information that can supplement your understanding of some of the arguments that are being made as it relates to the historic Iran agreement that was announced today. So,
you expected him to say TGIF, right? And we got the prop, and everyone knew the first question would be on the terrorist shooting in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he's downright giddy. I'm not saying that Josh Earnest doesn't care about what happened, but the optics are horrible here, and this is insane.
No, it's insane, it's purposely done, and it's who they are. It echoes the president's shrug-it-off nature of his condolences in reaction yesterday, and it also harkens me back to the president's reaction to Fort Hood. The president came out on that day at an event, a Native American event at the White House or somewhere, and he gave shout-outs to Indian chiefs in the audience. So he was shout out. After 2.5 minutes, he said, "Oh, and I want to acknowledge what happened at Fort Hood." Same jolly kind of nature that Josh Earnest is going through here at the White House. You're picking today to put up these stupid screens that are promoting the fact that certain newspapers are in agreement with the Iran deal? Are you crazy?
And the Iran deal was much earlier in the week. Yeah. They could have waited till Monday to do this.
Listen, you know, we all know that I tend to be supportive of this administration, but we also know that I tend to criticize them a fair amount on how poor they are at communications. I have to agree. I mean, I'm glad to see those newspapers are supporting this deal and all, but you're right. Nobody's in the mood for this today. There's nothing funny in the world today. You know, these terrible things happen. You don't get over it, and you shouldn't get over it in 24 hours. I mean, this is what should be on our mind.
At least if you're going to debut the screen, maybe put the photos of the four Marines that lost their lives.
Pick another day.
And by the way, those newspapers are now going to get tax-exempt status.
I doubt it.
Well, let's talk about radicalized Islam in America. The White House has tried downplaying it. Even Josh Earnest today at the White House tried to downplay the incident. How big of a problem do we have in America with radical followers of Islam? In other words, most likely this shooter wasn't in Syria, wasn't trained and then sent back.
But he was in Jordan for 7 months last year.
Yeah. He was in Jordan.
Well,
so
he came from Kuwait, he went to Jordan. But here's the deal. All we have to do is listen to the FBI director. The FBI director said the other day, "I don't know how much longer I could keep us safe. ISIS is spreading. ISIS's influence is spreading. There are currently active investigations in every state in the union, all 50 states related to ISIS." So just listen to our own FBI director, who is basically sitting there saying, "I can't do this anymore." So we're in trouble.
And I can't blame him for saying that, because all you need is a computer and access to social media, and that's how you can get radicalized.
And you have to put in the context of what he was talking about, which is looking for that backdoor key so he can get communications, which, by the way, you'll like this, I happen to agree with him on. The government should be able to do that because this is a real issue. I do like to point out, though, when you have the opportunity, while we are correctly talking about concerns about terrorism in our country today, there's a story out that gives you some hope and shows a different face. There's a group of American Muslims that set a goal of $100,000 cash to raise to help the black churches that have been burnt out. There's been a rash of them. The media hasn't covered it as well as they should have. Some we think are arson, and they've raised $90,000 of that. So
that's good, but I'd rather see
them
them or another 100 try to rat out potential ISIS members in the Muslim community.
I agree with that too.
You know,
but I want to give them credit where credit's due.
As you should. In Chattanooga, the largest Islamic group there also denounced the shooting. So, but I want to hear more from Islamic countries, from Muslim countries.
How about the President of the United States?
Or the President of the United States, that matters.
He talked about it yesterday.
He never said terror. He never said terrorist attack. He never said Islam. He never said anything.
See, here's where we got to be careful. If we find out that that's what it is, and I think all three of us agree that's what we're going to find out.
The president knew at that point it was.
No.
He knew the name of the guy.
That doesn't mean he's a terrorist.
come
See, this is
on.
where you get in trouble. Just because that's his name doesn't mean he's a terrorist. That's not America. That's not the way we function. When we and if we prove that he is, and as I said, I think all three of us would agree, there's a reasonably good likelihood of that, that's when the
Yet
president
we knew
should
the
say it.
Confederate flag was responsible for the murders. How did we know that? Did we ask the guy?
It's apples and oranges.
No, it
It's
is not
fair.
apples and oranges. We
It's
knew that
apples and
immediately.
oranges.
Right, all they're trying to do now, first of all, you know how we eradicate ISIS influence here? Is eradicate ISIS. Kill them. Beat them.
You know,
now.
I'm okay with that. But we don't even know that this guy, even if it was terrorism, was working with ISIS.
No,
yet.
but the
We have
ISIS
to
threat
leave it there.
exists, yeah.
Steve, thanks for joining
Thank
us
you.
tonight. We appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
We'll see
Great
you
to
at
be
7
here,
o'clock.
guys.
Appreciate
Should
it.
do this more
More
often.
Daily
Yes,
Wrap in just a
yes.
moment.
Come in early.